was having a conversation with one of the CEOs that I've worked with for a long time about why strategic planning processes fail and why our companies fail to achieve their strategic goals. And we were brainstorming about it, and they've been using the scaling up methodology over there, been using that with us for years, and we talked about it because they see it in other colleagues they are in the CEO group that they're a part of, and why just stuff doesn't seem to work sometimes. I kind of broke it down to like four key things of why strat planning fails. Number one, it's too complex. We see these plans that people build that are just beautiful works of art, but it's way too complex. And what that means is that people can't get aligned and engaged to driving it because it's so much and it's so hard to understand. It's like they took all the people's best ideas off all the flip charts in the room, threw it in a shredder, spread it all out, put it all together in a different form in a piece of art, and that was their strat plan. Obviously, it's a bit exaggerated, but a lot of the strat plans are too complex. Two, they don't get to the core that drives the engine of the business. There's a few things that drive companies ahead, only a few. And that's why doing the flywheel that we deal with a lot of our orgs from Jim Collins, the flywheel really helps to get to the core of what makes this thing actually grow. The next is that people get too caught up in shiny new things. I call it, they get too curious. Oh, we could do this and we could do this. It's like stay in your lane. Do the one thing that you're meant to be master at. Stay in your lane, stay in your lane. One of the great CEOs I worked with this was CEO for 13 years. And I remember he had multiple companies, and it was when people want to go outside the guardrails of their business, like kind of the market they're in and what they provided, he'd be like, great, that's a wonderful idea for a different company. So they get too curious, stay in your lane. And then finally, people are too compassionate. Like when people miss delivering on the goals, people go, oh, that's unfortunate. Versus, whoa, what do you mean? This is one of our top priorities. How did we let it slip? So too complex, not core that actually drives the business and drives growth. Too curious and going with all kinds of other things and kind of not staying in your lane. And then too complacent or too compassionate when people don't achieve and not creating tension. High-performing organizations have a lot of tension. So there's four major things. And if you're going to do, it's not rocket science, the work we do, but it adds a lot of value. And our clients continue to grow tremendously because we do the opposite of that stuff. We come up with a simple plan that is right at the core of the business and what drives the engine of growth and keeps the rest of the org healthy. We try to stay focused on those things, laser focused. And then in our quarterly meetings, it's not complacency and compassion. When people don't achieve, it's like, okay, why? How do you do better? How do we do better? Like it's an environment almost like in sports where they'll watch game tape after a game. How do we do better? How do we perform better? And all of that, what we call that in our world is celebrate and iterate. Celebrate all the good stuff we did, but then let's be iterating because we want to win more and we want to perform better next time. So if you find your strat planning process has got off track or your company isn't growing or isn't achieving your strategic goals, just take a look at those things. Is it too complex? Can a 12-year-old understand it? Is it driving the core growth levers that make your business grow? Are you getting too curious and getting too wide and too distracted? Or are you too compassionate or complacent when people don't achieve? Kind of simple stuff, I know, but it does make a difference. And when you boil it down, that's what it takes. Those are the things that seem to make a difference in keeping companies on the growth path.